This is an exclusive excerpt from the Stuph File Program with Peter Anthony Holder.
Another Hollywood icon is gone. On February 24th, we lost actress and singer Sally Kellerman, best known as the original Hot Lips Houlihan in the Robert Altman screen version of MASH. She was 84. She had been in an assisted living facility and was suffering from dementia. Back in 2009, I had the chance to talk to Sally about a different part of her talent, the original love of her life. That was singing. She came on the show to talk about her just-released album, simply called Sally. Here is part of that conversation now. What makes you choose particular songs to sing, and how do you choose between working as an actress and working as a singer? Do they feed different parts of your entertainment needs, or is it all?
Oh, baby. Well, music, yeah, that's food for the soul for sure. And as I like to say, you don't have to be in a German prison camp to sing "I love you." You know, you can just sing "I love you." You can just feel it. You know what I mean when you're singing. But and I'm laughing to myself because I saw when I was younger and I was nominated for an Academy Award and everything, and my father-in-law, who didn't know me in those days, I was coming on Johnny Carson, and he says to his then wife, "Oh boy, look, Sally Kellerman's coming on, Johnny Carson, yay!" And he says, I come on, he's all excited, and I come on and go, "Well, I don't really want to act, I want to sing," and he just went like, "Ooks," and I see people doing that, and today I feel like I'm the Joaquin
Phoenix?
Yeah, is following in my career planning footsteps. He's not going to act anymore. He's going to sing, and he's grown a beard. And I didn't grow a beard, though.
Well, what is so when you say you want to sing and you want to focus on that?
Well, no, I mean that was just a jerk, to come on right in the height of finally working for 12 or 15 years to get into the movies, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to act. But, I always needed to be, I always was a singer. I was under contract to Verve at 18. And, then I made my first album. Lou Adler produced the demo, and I made my first album for Decca in the early 70s. And so I've been at it. I've been in Muscle Shoals and Nashville, and I've, worked with Bobby Womack and Barry Manilow, and, all kinds of stuff, all through and putting shows together continuously, and, but in the early days, I'd get a band and turn all the movies down and go on the road. Now I know you can do both, And I've just come into my own. It only just took me how many years? 30 years since my first album. I wanted soul. That was why I went on the road. Don't go to Vegas. Raquel Welch said, well, you should go to Vegas. I said, please, in those days. I wanted soul. I wanted to earn my stripes the way I did as an actress. But I wasn't like a real great career planner.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. You wanted to earn your stripes. So you didn't want to trade in on the name of Academy Award nominee Sally Kellerman.
Right, exactly. I didn't want to be Hot Lips things, Although I've never been able to shake that, and that's great. At this point, that's fabulous. But yeah, I wanted to be the real thing, So it's taken me another 30, but I think that's what's happened. I'm so proud of this CD and so excited the response I've been getting from disc jockeys all across the country and on the internet and stuff. The response has really been great. So if you aren't really excited about it, you're in trouble. You're in the minority.
We are talking with Sally Kellerman, and her new CD is titled Sally. And I think we do have a song from the CD. The song that we're going to play is called Say It Isn't So.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's
so
a ballad, yeah.
Exactly. So let's listen to Sally Kellerman and Say It Isn't So.
Say it isn't so. Say you didn't say you have to let me go. And say you didn't come here just to let me know. 'Cause I don't wanna know. Say it isn't so. Say you didn't stay here till the break of dawn, just to say in passing that the feeling's gone and you're moving on. Say you love me still, say you always will. Tell me that you'll always want me near. Don't just walk away, not before you say what you really meant to say is what I want to hear. Say we're still a pair. Say that you're not really going anywhere, and you'll be staying in my arms where you belong. Say I heard you wrong, say it isn't so. Say you love me still, say you always will. Tell me that you'll always want me near. Don't just walk away, not before you say that what you really meant to say is what I want to hear. Yes, I'll be okay, but of course it's so much easier for you to say, 'cause you're alright while I'm the one who's left behind. You've made up your mind, but before you go, say that what you said was said by accident. Say it isn't so.
That's from Sally Kellerman's new album, simply titled Sally and Say It Isn't So. Do you get the opportunity to perform live?
I do. I'm on my way to San Francisco right now, and I'm hoping to come up to Canada and just perform all across your beautiful country. I've made a lot of movies and a lot of specials and all kinds of stuff in Canada. Made a movie in Montreal, got nominated for Best Foreign Actress in your country, and my husband did 3 Look Who's Talkings in Vancouver, and I did a special in Calgary, and I've been up in Ottawa doing musical specials, and I've just been all over your country, and I love it. I really do. And, you know, that song, Say It Isn't So, was written by a guy from Take 6, which was a jazz group that I wasn't aware of, and Mervyn Warrens, he works a lot with Quincy Jones. But on the album, the thing that means so much to me is that my first album in the 70s was kind of Janis Joplin influenced, even though I'd been under contract to Verve, which so my roots were in jazz, you know, in terms of the chording and stuff like that. But this album has a quality of both. Not that I'm Janis Joplin or that I sound like Janis Joplin, but that kind of more, you know, stuff. I got, I got a dragged blues version of Love Potion No. 9, and I have a Creedence Clearwater song, Feelin' Blue, and then Sugar in My Bowl, which is a good blues, and I asked Val Garay, who's, won the Album of the Year Grammy for Betty Davis Eyes with Kim Carnes, and he said, I said, what's going to tie all this together? And he said, your voice. And it seems somehow to work, so it's not all ballads and it's not all rock and roll. It's just a combination of good stuff.
By the way, Sugar in My Bowl is an amazing track.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. That is fun.
I'm just curious to know, the reason why I asked about performing live is I think we all know the kind of effect you have on the guys in your audience. What about the ladies?
Well, I get along great with women. I love women, and the show, we call it the anti-show. So there are no rules, and I always joke about, hey, the doors are locked, so whatever happens, and I've never had such a connection with the audience, all the audience, the women, the men, and laughs, so many laughs. There's no writing, there's just music, and then whatever happens, and there's so much that happens. I don't know what it is, I don't know why they laugh, but there's just been so much laughter, and people go out feeling so much better than when they came in, and I've been working with a great keyboard guy named Chris Caswell, that Hal David of Backrack and David put me together with, and insisted I work with him, and it just changed everything, really. That and Bob Altman telling me to giggle and give in, and my shrink saying, if you ain't having fun, it's all BS, and and that is what I'm having. It's just one of the great times of my life, really, and so it's been really exciting, and I do really hope to come up to Canada. And maybe you guys are still alive and want to, come hang out and come see me.
You know what? I just want to play a snippet. Maybe we can play just about a minute of the song that I mentioned earlier, which is a great tune. And that song is entitled Sugar in My Bowl. Let's hear a little bit of that.
I want a little sugar in my bowl. I want a little sweetness down in my soul. I could stand some love, oh, so bad. Feel so lonely and I feel so sad. I want a little steam on my clothes. Maybe I can fix things up so they'll go. What's the matter, Daddy? Come on, save my soul. I need a little sugar in my bowl.
Now that is classic Sally Kellerman.
I said, oh, thanks.
That's really nice stuff. Now, again, what goes through your mind when you pick the songs and you're doing the arrangements and you're actually in studio?
Well, you know what? It's so many of these songs are things that we kept working. We call it a residency in L.A. This kind of funky little 60-seat club, Genghis Cohen, and we work there about once a month. And we bring in new material and we work on it, and I just pick things that I find. I'm always looking, for good songs, and just pick things that move me, that I like, that I go, yeah, I could sing that, And then I had a great producer, Val Garay, as I said, who's just won more gold and Grammys and silver and platinum and everything else in the world. And he started coming in, and then when it got time to pick the songs for the album, he said, okay, he'd come to about 16, 17 shows, and he said, all right, now and we demoed a lot of stuff that we did, to see if it really did sound like me and if it really was good. And so he said, okay, bring me everything you've been working on, everything. So, and he said to me, I'm the most organized producer you'll ever work with. And sure enough, he was, man. He came in and he'd say, all right, you can have two of these, 2 blues, you can have 1 of these, you can have 2 of those, you pick them. All right, between these 2, pick the one you think is good. And then he'd say, no, I think that one's a better song than this song, and stuff like that. So it was, and we had it all mastered. He wanted to do a 10-cut CD. And then I brought in Say It Isn't So one night into the club. After we'd already mastered the album, we were totally happy. We were on the way to hit the road running summer. And they said, only one thing wrong. You got to go in and cut Say It Isn't So. And at the same time, we did that duet, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, the Steven Tyler, Diane Warren, big pop anthem. It was a huge hit for Aerosmith. And then Val just turned it into something so different and so right for me. And so, it's just things that move me, lyrics that move me. Gene Page, who produced my first album in the 70s, said that I respond to melody first, which is true, but if the lyric doesn't move me at the same time, I can't sing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I can't sing a really good lyric if I don't have a melody that moves me. So that's I got to be moved.
Got to talk a little bit about your acting career.
Yeah.
And again, people remember you, I guess, mostly from MASH. And
well, from the movie Hot Lips in the movie, and
Yeah.
then Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield.
Exactly. And then by the time you did MASH, I mean, you had an already quite impressive resume. I mean, you were probably on every episodic television show being made through the 60s and early 70s.
I was, and I mean, and they had those specials, like Chrysler Hour and Kraft, a lot long before a lot of your listeners' time, I'm sure. But I played Rod Steiger's hard-bitten drunk daughter, and I'd get beat up on a Kraft theater, and and then I was in the pilot of Star Trek with silver lenses in my eyes, and somebody just sent me a picture of me in those lenses. They were as big as my head. They were like filled up the whole eye socket. Now your lenses are like these little tiny things, And yes, I did a lot of television. That's why people say, why didn't you do the series MASH? I think because I was in television trying to get out, because I always wanted to be in the movies. Of course, then when I was offered everything after being nominated, I turned it all down, got bans and went on the road, but what fun we had at the cook's house after the third show, as I like to say.
Well, what was it like being on the MASH set, on the set of the movie?
The movie.
I mean, did you have any idea? And everyone considers Robert Altman a directorial genius. Did you have any idea that what you were making at the time you were making MASH was so special?
Well, I knew that I was having the most fun I'd ever had since high school. You know what I mean? Since I could run around and sit in the quad and hang out with friends. It was like going to summer camp. He just made it. He's so special. It's why all the stars always want to work with him, whether there's money or there isn't money, or whether the script is the greatest or it isn't. Because he's somebody that just you feel that he really gets you. And I certainly felt that way, and I'm sure everybody that's worked with him really felt that way. And the only thing special to me was that when he offered me the part at a meeting, and I always thought, compared to today, I don't have big lips, but boy, I always felt like my sister used to say, shut up, big lips, and make me cry when I was little, so I was always hiding my mouth, but that day I wore red lipstick because I was going out for the part of Lieutenant Dish. And halfway through the meeting, he said, I'll give you the best part in the picture, Hot Lips. And I went, oh, my God, and I rushed outside to look. I couldn't even find it in the script, and I just turned to stone. I wasn't even going to go back and see him. I just, that's it. I'm finished. I'll never get in the movies, and I'm not going back and see that guy. And someone said, he's really talented. So I went back all puffed up and teary, and, why couldn't you stay in the film? And why couldn't you do this? And why couldn't you do that? And he just looked up at me casually and said, well, why couldn't you? Why don't you take a chance? You could end up with something or nothing. And, I'd come from TV where you couldn't change a line or a word without the entire suits coming down from, Universal or something to check on everything. And here he was saying, take a chance. You could end up with something or nothing. And so during dailies one day, maybe after I had a big breakdown after the shower scene or something, and in the dark, he loved a lot of people to come to dailies and everything. And he used to say, boy, I bet you hate yourself there, Sally. Boy, I bet you think you look ugly there. And he'd be saying things exactly what I'd be thinking. And then one day he says to me in the dark, you're going to get nominated for Academy Award for this. And I went, oh, no. But secretly I was hoping, oh, my gosh, do you think so? And sure enough, I did. And so we didn't have any idea that it would be such a huge hit and make such a, the series was wonderful. It was a different point of view, but it was wonderful, and everybody was wonderful in it. And I was never sorry I didn't do it, because I really followed my bliss as we did in the 60s and early 70s, just went where we really needed to go. And the music is where I needed to go, and I needed to make some movies, and create some other characters. So that's my story about that. And, the fact that we'd still be talking about me and Hot Lips after all these years is like, who would have thought that? And it's been a blessing, and it's been, it was a little typecasting, so that, I have to get over that. Even to this day, sometimes I do. But this music and stuff is all a part of really coming out as myself. And the title of the album, Sally, is the only reason we called it that is because I woke up from a dream. I know, long time coming. And then, of course, there were 17 albums called A Long Time Coming and 35 singles, you know. And everybody said, great, Sally, but, you know, you're a little late.
Yeah.
And then we tried to do some, you know, precious, you know, well, it's, you know, should be about this. And, you know, and everything was just like, ooks, you know. And finally it was just like, hey, how about Sally? So that's how we ended up with Sally. But I'm loving it. I'm like, that's right, man. This is me. I'm out. I'm out of the chains that bind. You know, I finally got free.
Thank you very, very much, Sally.
Hey, and you know, I just want to say one thing before I get off. I made a movie in Toronto. I was there in the winter and the freezing cold, and I heard you announcing the temperature. And I thought, oh my God! But I did a picture called Fatal Attraction. It was the Canadian Fatal Attraction.
Right.
You know, but I loved it. I just I loved being there.
Thank you very much, Sally, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
That was a part of a conversation I had with Sally Kellerman from February of 2009. And like all the roles we saw her in through the years, she was a class act, not only in her acting, but in her singing as well. Her album entitled Sally really is a great sultry listen. Sally passed away on February 24th at the age of 84 from dementia complications.
You've just heard an exclusive excerpt from the Stuph File Program with Peter Anthony Holder. To hear any or all of the full hour-long shows, visit thestufffile.com. Stuph is spelled S-T-U-P-H. That's thestufffile.com. A presentation of Flying Fish Communications.